This is the new Nest Wired Doorbell. Google has been raving about how great the image quality is. So I put it head to head against a few other doorbells in all different lighting conditions. And we're gonna see how well it actually does. Since this is the wired Nest doorbell, it has the ability to record 24/7 footage. The question I have is, will Google limit this doorbell in any way so that you'll feel like you have to pay for their most expensive monthly subscription to get 24/7 recordings? Let's find out. And just so you know, I bought this Nest doorbell with my own money, but even if Google did send it to me, it wouldn't change anything because I always share my honest opinion with you. Alright, moving on to the first topic, image quality. The resolution on this new wired doorbell is 960 by 1280, which is the same as last year's battery version. But when you compare it with the old Nest Hello that came out way back in 2018, it's actually less resolution and a more narrow field of view. So if you're upgrading from the Nest Hello, you won't be able to see as wide, but you will be able to see a little more up and down. I personally prefer the wider field of view. And no, not because I have a dad bod and I'm wider than I should be, but because even with a wedge to angle the doorbell, it can still miss things out of frame off to the side. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker though, especially once you see the HDR on this thing. It's crazy. I put it next to last year's battery version and the unified G4 doorbell that can also record 24/7, which has the same specs and almost the same image as the Nest Hello. During the day, we have dark shadows on the porch with a sunny bright background on the street. The Nest Wired Doorbell did extremely well because you can see the details of my face and the street. The Nest Battery Doorbell looks the worst out of the three, being much darker. But Google did mention the Battery Doorbell would get some updates to improve image quality, so this may improve. The unified G4 doorbell also looks really good, but I would still give the edge to the Nest Wired Doorbell. Especially when there wasn't much light to work with. Somehow the Nest Wired could see me, but the G4 doorbell couldn't. This might not seem like a big deal, but when you only have a few frames to work with of someone stealing a package off your porch, those few frames need to have as much detail as possible. Oh, and I want to mention this is not a full comparison. I'll be making another video where I'll be comparing it against Ring and other doorbells in the future. It's going to be intense. So hit that subscribe button to watch future reads suffer through that mess. I also tried it out in the evening with low light, and again, the Nest Wired Doorbell came out on top. But night vision was a different story. Somehow the Nest Battery Doorbell looked the best, and the Nest Wired looked the worst. That's why I highly recommend automating your porch lights to turn on when someone is at the door late at night so the camera can see them better. Even though the Nest Wired Doorbell has amazing HDR, the image quality was a bit soft and not very sharp. Once I started moving back, the details of my face quickly faded away. I think this is because of the lower resolution. When I met with Google, they said resolution doesn't matter as much if you have great software and HDR. Classic. Of course the company that just lowered the resolution on their new doorbell would say that. I mean, I guess I agree to an extent. The HDR wizardry Google is able to do with this doorbell and their Pixel phones is incredible, but the resolution is also still important. And don't get me wrong, the image quality on this doorbell is one of the best I've ever tested. Even DxOMark said it was the best in terms of image quality for their testing. But if you're just comparing the image quality with the Nest Hello, you might not want to upgrade, and it might come down to not needing to pay for Nest Aware. Just like the Nest Battery Doorbell, the wired version has a lot of features that do not need a monthly subscription. Activity zones with person, pet, vehicle, and package detection are all processed locally on the doorbell and do not need the cloud. The older Nest Hello also has these features, but only if you pay for Nest Aware. Another thing you get with the new wired doorbell is 3 hours of rolling cloud storage for free. So you can always go back and watch or download whatever happened in the last 3 hours. This is another area where Nest Hello will continue to take your money. You cannot save any event recordings without paying for Nest Aware. Not only that, but if the internet is down, you can record up to 1 hour of footage locally on the new wired doorbell as a free backup. This solves one of Nest Hello's biggest flaws because if the internet is down, you're out of luck. But it gets even better. Unlike the Nest battery doorbell, the wired version has pre-roll recordings included. Google says it's a couple of seconds of pre-roll, but in my testing it was up to 7 seconds of footage before a person was detected. And because of this, I never missed any footage using just event recording. Plus, there's no real record limit on events. While filming the doorbell and standing in front of it for a while, it would record 3 or 4 minute clips with no problem. Now, if you want to rewatch that door-to-door salesman's entire pitch, you can go right ahead. With all of these features included for free, do you even need to pay for 24/7 footage with Nest Aware Plus? I would say no, it's not necessary with this doorbell, and here's why. The activity zones are highly customizable. You can set them up so that it records everything, but only notifies you for the stuff that matters. To do that, you can create different zones to alert you only when certain things are detected on your porch. This way, you won't be alerted for everything happening on the street, but it will still all be recorded. It caught me walking on the sidewalk, but it did not alert me unless I walked up to the front door. With these activity zones and pre-roll, event recording is more than enough, and you could easily get away with just the free plan. But that is only 3 hours of rolling cloud storage, so if something happened in the middle of the night, you wouldn't be able to see what happened by the time you woke up in the morning. So yeah, you might still want to consider the basic Nest Aware subscription for 30 days of event history, especially since you also get face detection. But I think Nest Aware Plus is overkill. That's the only reason I think current Nest Hello users should consider this new doorbell. You might actually save money in the long run by cutting back on monthly subscriptions even after paying for this new doorbell. And the screw holes of the new wired one are the same height as the Nest Hello, so it'll be very easy to upgrade. But if you already have 24/7 recording on the Nest Hello and you don't mind the subscription, I would not upgrade to this new wired doorbell. Any upgrades with the HDR are offset by the lower resolution. For everyone else though, if you're seriously looking at this doorbell, then there's more testing I did that you need to know about. When the doorbell is pressed, the notification shows up right away on the phone, and there's almost no latency in the live view. You can also use the pre-built quick responses to reply to someone, but you cannot add your own custom responses. Of course, there's also two-way voice to talk to people on your doorstep. The speaker was a little quiet.
This is how loud the speaker sounds on the Nest Wired Doorbell.
But the microphone on it sounded great.
Hey, this is what the microphone sounds like on the Nest Wired Doorbell.
The doorbell is also available in 4 different colors, and I chose the gray version to match our house. I think it blends in well. Also, the doorbell mount has been changed, and it feels more secure, with a little screw to keep it attached on the top instead of the bottom, so it's easier to reach. Much better. You might be wondering about the chime. This doorbell works with your existing chime, and I had no problems with it. I personally turn off this feature because I prefer the Google Nest speakers to announce when the doorbell is pressed. I tested the package alerts and it notified me when a package was delivered or taken off my porch, which could be a negative if you're trying to hide Amazon deliveries from your spouse. Really though, their AI and detection is top notch compared to other video doorbells that claim to have similar features. Honestly, if you're looking to get in the Google Nest ecosystem, then you're not going to be disappointed with this new wired doorbell. The doorbell and app are also really easy to set up and use, and it's one of the best video doorbells I've ever tested, especially considering the price at $180. And even though Eufy has a better overall value with their local recordings and face detection without a monthly fee, the Nest Wired Doorbell has way better image quality and more accurate zone detection. Now, one more thing to note, if you're thinking about buying this Nest Wired Doorbell for 24/7 footage, then I would at least look at Unify. I did the math, and the Unify hardware is less expensive than 3 years of Nest Aware Plus. It's a little more advanced and an upfront investment, so Google will be an easier option and is a better fit for some people. At the end of the day, I mainly need my video doorbell to tell me when packages are delivered, see who's there, not miss footage, and load fast. The Nest Wired Doorbell does that extremely well. It's not perfect, and I'm still looking for the holy grail of video doorbells, but it's still really good.
How's it going? We have something really important to share with you.
Oh, hey, yeah, sorry I can't come to the door right now.
I promise you really are going to want to hear this one.
No, sorry, I gotta go.
No, really, we found your dog. This is yours, right? We just saw it in the street and thought you might want it.
Ah, Luna. Why don't you guys just keep her?
No, Dad, stop it.
Fine, we'll keep her for now.